Hi, I'm Dr. Ben Newman. I study coronaviruses for a living. Let's try to answer some of your questions. Next question is from Liam. Good morning, Liam. All right, and Liam says, "Hi, here's the latest in pop culture sensationalism news. Could they have reported something significant here?" And it's a link to the New York Post. Oh man, New York Post never change. Yeah. All right, this title is wonderful and scientifically illiterate all by itself, but bless. COVID 19 mutation. So, mutation being a genetic change within an entire genome, but the mutation may be evolving. Now, the mutation is either there or it's not there, but okay, it might be evolving. I don't know what that is. It changing to a different mutation? I don't know. Yeah. To bypass mask wearing. Whoa. Yeah. And hand washing. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So you scroll down into the article, and it is based on something factual, but the factual thing is from, I believe, March. Yeah. It's a thing called the D614 mutation, and the D is turning into a G. So we say that's D614G, and I think I've made several videos about this one. It is a mutation that seems to make the spike of the coronavirus, which is the thing that sticks out on the outside, a little bit more stable. And for whatever reason, that stability leads to slightly higher transmission. And so this is a fairly early mutation that popped up in a couple different lineages. And from there, it spread, and it has come to dominate the pool of mutations that are out there. So yeah, it's a thing that if you were to get the coronavirus today, the strain that you catch would probably be a D614 changed into G, so a G614 strain, like the one with the mutation. Because, yeah, and here's key, yeah, because you get the virus that the person before you had, yeah. The virus can change while it's inside of a person. It doesn't change in between people because the virus isn't alive in between people. The only time when it's able to even copy itself or do any somewhat lifelike things are when it's inside of a person. So that's where the changes have to occur. And so the idea that once it's already inside you, it can then change, knowing the future, and figure out how to evade mask wearing and hand washing is really, yeah, that's, I don't know. Even as science fiction, I don't think that flies. I just think that's not very well thought out. But what the Post, again, bless them, bless the Post, yeah, what they're trying to say in their own way is that this virus is spreading even though people are taking some precautions. Now, I would argue that the virus is spreading to the people who are letting their guard down at the moment they're letting their guard down. That the virus is not any better at going through a mask because the only way that could happen is if the virus was able to change its size or something, and there's no way that this mutation does that thing. And the idea that the virus could now survive hand washing. Interesting. This is something I've thought about looking at before. So there's a protein underneath the spike, underneath these guys, that's called the M protein. And the M protein is very sensitive to soap. And so you could imagine a world where the M protein picks up some mutations that just make it less susceptible to being broken up by soap. Although soap is just like a mechanical detergent force that will unwind proteins. But you can be a little more resistant to that or a little less resistant to that. That's possible. And so maybe you would see an M mutation as a result of high soap exposure. So if you make a bunch of slightly different viruses and then put a little soap on there and kill off all the ones you can, but the ones that survive, then you grow those again, and then you keep doing this 5-6 times, you can probably select something that's a little bit more resistant to soap. Yeah, I don't know how that makes the world a better place. And I don't know how that would happen in the natural world unless transmission off a washed hand is it's kind of a lack of imagination, which is weird for the Post. Yeah, because normally they are all about imagination, I've got to say. Yeah. Imagination and foreboding, bless. Yeah. But yeah, the imagination there, well, lack of imagination would be that, yeah, if everybody out there is wearing a mask all the time and washing their hands all the time, how can it possibly be that the virus is spreading? And in New York State, to be fair, the virus is not really spreading. It's been at very low levels, and everybody is doing a very good job of, yeah, taking precautions. And so they're probably looking around and saying, what? We're doing everything we can. How is there still tons of virus in Houston, for example? Or, yeah, just Florida, the whole state. Yeah. And the answer is that not everywhere are we taking the same precautions. So I was out, again, fossil hunting a little yesterday, which is why I look kind of beat up today. And yeah, at the Buc-ee's mega gas stations, like the Disney World of gas stations, there were about, I'd say 1 out of 5 was not wearing a mask and just, yeah, blithely, whatever, walking around like, wow, yeah, what's this weird world I just woke up in? Yeah, after my 100 years nap. Yeah, so people, yeah. And you only get compliance that high, as far as I can tell, in the bigger cities next to the big metropolitan areas. The farther you get from the Dallases and probably Clevelands of the world, the mask use just goes way down. There are still counties in Texas where I believe it is optional whether the county wants to put in a mask order. And yeah, stuff like that is why we have second waves and third waves and however many waves. It's all just one big wave that's driven by what we do. And yeah, it's not that the virus is outthinking us here, because the virus can't think. It's a very stupid little thing. It's us. It's us messing up one more time. So there we go. That's what's going on. And wow, yeah, the New York Post, yeah. It's like they looked at a news article from March and then just let it stew, you know, pinging around inside there for a while. And then eventually this thing comes out. And yeah, all right. Cool. Anyway, thanks very much. This has been Ask Dr. Ben.